There was a time when I thought you were the only one for me, but as the days have passed, I've realized I have so many paths I can walk down that don't lead to you. It's not that I don't care anymore, it's just that my heart found other spaces to grow. I thought you were my forever, but the more I look around, the more I see possibilities, feelings, and opportunities I didn't know existed before. And while you were once the center of my world, I can't ignore that I now find beauty things I didn't consider. It's strange, isn't it? The moment we realize that we are not the only ones who can make each other happy. There are other places I could be, other people I could love, and it makes me question if I've been holding onto something that wasn't meant to stay. Loving you used to be the only thing I could think about, but as time has passed, I've discovered that there are more pieces of myself to explore, and there are other things, other people, that make me feel seen in ways I never imagined. I thought my world was only complete with you in it, but now I see that I've been given choices, other people, other futures that hold just as much potential for happiness and fulfillment as the one I thought I would destined for with you. There's a sadness that comes with realizing you're not the one I'm meant to be with. It's not that you aren't amazing, but there's something else now, a deeper connection elsewhere that has quietly stolen my attention. For so long, I thought that love was only about one person, but I've come to realize that love is about more than just attachment. It's about what makes you feel whole. And right now, I find myself pulled in directions I didn't even know existed. I never thought I'd feel this way, like there were other places I'd rather be, other faces I'd rather see. But my heart has changed, and now there are new things I'm discovering that call to me more deeply than anything we ever shared. The truth is, there are moments when I wish things could be different, when I wish I could choose you above everything else. But the more I think about it, the more I realize I'm learning to love in new ways, ways I didn't even know were possible. I've spent so long trying to convince myself that you were the one for me, but now I see that there are other people, other feelings that feel like home in ways I never expected. I've started to realize that love doesn't have to be just one person. We can spend so much time clinging to what we think we need that we forget to look around and see all the other beautiful things life has to offer. Now I see that I have so many options, so many different paths that feel just as fulfilling as the one I thought I was supposed to take with you. I used to think you were my dream come true, but now I realize that there are other dreams I've yet to chase. You're a beautiful part of my story, but you're no longer the whole chapter. It's not that you're not incredible. It's just that as I've grown, I've realized there's so much more to life than what we've built together. There are connections I've yet to explore, and parts of myself I've only begun to discover. When I met you, I thought you were everything you wanted, but now I see that I've been holding on to an idea of love, not the reality. The truth is, there are other experiences, other people that speak to my soul in ways I never expected. You are a part of me, but you're not all of me. And that's something I've learned as I've opened my heart to other possibilities, to new experiences that make me feel seen and heard in ways I never could with you. I loved you with everything I had, but sometimes love isn't enough to make two people stay on the same path. I've realized that there's more for me out there, places where my heart can finally rest in a way it hasn't with you. It's hard to admit that there are other people, other feelings that make my heart race in a way yours no longer does. It's not that you're not wonderful, it's just that my life is full of possibilities I never thought I'd find. As much as I've tried to make us work, there's something else calling to me now. Maybe it's the realization that love isn't a one-way street, and that sometimes the best thing for both people is to explore what else the world has to offer. It's not that I don't care about you, it's that I've started to realize that I'm more than just someone who loves you. I'm someone who deserves to find other loves, other connections that fill me up in ways I never knew I could be filled. Sometimes we grow out of love without even realizing it. And when I look at you now, I see someone I once thought I couldn't live without. But the truth is, I've learned that there are so many other ways I can feel fulfilled. What I once thought was the perfect connection now feels like a chapter in a book I've finished reading. There's something else calling to me, something new that excites me more than I ever thought possible. It's strange to think that something so certain once could become so uncertain. But now I see that there are so many ways to love, and not all of them involve you. Sometimes the best love is the one that sets you free to explore what's next. I held on to you, thinking that if I loved you enough, everything else would fall into place. But now I know that love isn't enough to fill all the spaces in my life. There are other people, other feelings that make me feel more alive. I spent so much time trying to convince myself that you were my everything. But now I realize that the world is full of amazing people and experiences. I can't let my life be defined by just one person when there are so many other ways to feel alive. What if I told you that love isn't a fixed thing, that love can grow and change, and sometimes that means it no longer includes the one person you thought you could never live without? It's not easy to admit, but I've started to realize that I can love many things, many people, without it diminishing what I had with you. The world has opened up, and there are new connections that make me see life in a brighter light. For so long, you were my anchor, but now I see that I can anchor myself. I can build something new, something more, with other people, other possibilities that make me feel more grounded than I ever did with you. I've come to terms with the fact that what I thought was love wasn't always enough. Now, I'm learning that love isn't limited to one person or one connection. It's about finding fulfillment in all its forms. You were once my everything, but now I know that love is expansive, not confined to a single soul. There are countless ways to be loved, and I'm starting to explore what that means for me. I used to think that loving you was the answer to everything, but as time goes on, I've found that there's more to life than just holding on to one person. There are other connections, other feelings that make me feel seen in new ways. We all grow, and with growth comes change. And as much as I loved you, I've realized there are other people and experiences that bring out parts of me I never knew existed. It's not that you're not amazing, it's just that life is showing me more. What's more difficult than falling out of love is realizing that the world is full of options. There are so many people who bring new energy into my life, and I can't ignore that there are ways I feel alive now that I didn't with you. I thought that I could only find happiness with you, but the truth is, happiness comes in many forms. And though you were once my source of joy, I now find joy in places and people I never imagined. Love is a strange thing. We think we've found it with one person, but then we realize that love isn't a one-time discovery. It's a journey, one where we find different kinds of love along the way. It's not easy to let go, especially when you've invested so much time and energy into one person. But life teaches us that we have to make room for other experiences, other people who can offer us the love and fulfillment we deserve. There's a bittersweet beauty in the realization that what once seemed like destiny can change in an instant. And though I once thought you were all I needed, I've discovered there are so many other loves that make my heart beat with joy. It's hard to admit, but I've started to recognize that I don't need you to feel complete. I'm learning to find pieces of myself in other experiences, and while you were once everything, you're now just a part of the bigger picture. Sometimes love isn't a straight line, and it doesn't always look the way we thought it would. I've learned that I can love in different ways, and now I'm exploring a love that doesn't have to be tied to one person. I thought I could never love anyone the way I loved you, but now I've come to see that love is multifaceted, and sometimes loving yourself and finding new sources of happiness can feel even more fulfilling than holding on to the past.